Welcome back, everyone. It's Zach from Rare Candy, and today we are going to be covering a deck that I hold dear to my heart. I absolutely love this deck. We're going to be going over Baby Blacephalon. So, some of you might know me as the Blounds King because I've been playing Blacephalon GX extensively throughout the season to the tune of 1,500 or so championship points. So, I've had a lot of experience with this card in general, played it to a regional winning Collinsville champion Blacephalon Naganadel deck. I won the Mexico City special event with the same deck. I made top 8 at the Latin America International Championships in Sao Paulo with this deck. And I have a handful of top 16s, top 32s, and other high placements like League Cup wins with this deck. But I have now switched to its little baby Blacephalon, and we call it baby just because it's not a GX. We don't really have any way to distinguish between Blacephalon or Blounds or whatever it's called. So we got this card, and this card is new from the Unbroken Bonds set. So this card is awesome because it has Fireball Circus. You can discard as many fire energies as you want from your hand, basically unlimited, and you do 50 damage for each card that you discard in this way. You might be like, this is a 3 fire energy card, kind of basic Pokemon. You're not going to be doing much damage, Zach, but this is where I have you wrong. I played this deck at 3 events. I played it at a League Cup in Mississauga, Ontario. It was pretty decently big, I think almost 30 Masters, and for quarter 4, that's pretty big considering a lot of players already have their invites, or they've given up on the season, or maybe they're just enjoying some summer fun in Canada. I also played it at a league challenge. I went 4-0 to win the league challenge, and I've played this deck at the Origin special event in Columbus, Ohio this past weekend, and I was able to come 17th place with a 4-win, 1-loss, 2-tie record. So, sucks to kind of bubble at 17th place, but overall, I'm 15 wins, 2 losses, 2 ties with this deck, and that's my highest priority pick for NAIC. It's my top pick because it has a really good matchup against Reshiram Charizard GX, really good matchup against Pikachu Zekrom GX, beats Blacephalon GX Naganadel, and it holds its own versus most other decks. Its biggest kind of flaw is that it can be inconsistent at times, but you want to know what? When we're looking at every single deck from a distance, we've all had those hands where we start with like 4 energies, 1 Pokemon, and then trainers we don't want to see until later on in the game. So let's dive into this deck. I'll explain how it works, and then we'll go and play a few games afterwards, if that sounds all right with you. I know it sounds all right with me. So we already went over Baby Blacephalon, so you want to use Fireball Circus to knock out your opponent's GX Pokemon. Sometimes they're going to be playing non-GX Pokemon, and you have to go over it with Fireball Circus. That can be difficult because sometimes you need to knock out 6 of them, but I will assure you that we can use Fireball Circus over and over again to hit big numbers, knocking out a Reshiram Charizard GX, 5 energies, 6 energies. So the way that we make this happen is powering it up through cards like B-String. B-String, you could power it up if you're a little bit behind, if your opponent has 3 or 4 prize cards. Search your deck for up to 2 basic energies, so in this case, fire energies, and attach in one of your Ultra Beasts. So both Blacephalon and Blacephalon GX are Ultra Beast Pokemon, and we can power them up with B-String. But that's not really the way that we want to start the game off. Ideally, we want to start powering things up with a Welder, so attach up to 2 fire energy cards from your hand to one of your Pokemon if you do draw 3 cards. So we try to get our Welders out with cards like Pokegear or naturally drawing into them within the first turn or so. If you don't get the turn 1 Fireball Circus, it's not the biggest deal at all. We do have ways to get them, such as Bill's Analysis. You could do a hand refresh with Cynthia, or you could try to set up Salazzle, and I believe I'm one of the only players who's on Salazzle right now, to use Roast Reveal. Oh, and you want to know what I can't forget about our homie Heat Factory? Same thing as Roast Reveal, exactly the same thing as a Prism Star Stadium. So, Salazzle, I'll explain that because that's a little bit new. You might have seen a Baby Blacephalon deck that plays Jirachi, Green's Exploration, maybe Miss Magus from the set. I like Salazzle, and Salazzle helps out in multiple ways. So We have Roast Reveal, which allows us to get energies in our discard pile, which means that we could bank them in our discard pile for when we want to use cards like Fire Crystal, when we want to use cards like Energy Retrieval, or if we need to get cards, shuffle cards back into our deck with Energy Recycler. Additionally, this card allows you to get past a mid-game Marshadow. So if you're playing greens, your opponent can go Marshadow, they shuffle your hand right into the deck, and you might lose the game based off that. Salazzle allows you, if you have a single Fire Energy, a Viridian, an Energy Retrieval, a Fire Crystal, you have a whole bunch of outs to just draw 3 cards. And this deck kind of chain reacts with the cards that you draw. So like you could get a Fire Crystal, another one, you can get a Fiery Flint, that supporter card you need. Salazzle allows for explosive mid-game turns. And I've tried to build the deck up as properly as possible to have a strong start of the game. And once you have the mid game, the end game will just naturally come after that. So the Salazzle helps us bridge over that gap in the stages of a game. Salandit, additionally, is a consistency card. You can use Call for Family, search your deck for a basic Pokemon, put it onto your bench, shuffle your deck afterwards. So it makes it more difficult for your opponent to bench you out or remove all your Pokemon from play, because Salandit can always be there to grab something. And he kind of looks cool. I'm not going to lie. That eye though. So we have those cards. What other cards do we play? So we'll go over one by one. Shuffle 5 basic energy cards from your discard pile into your deck. Sometimes you're going to discard a lot off Fireball Circus, and that's okay. We can get them back with an energy recycler. We just play one because we don't need to get energies back that many times. Energy Retrieval, we played 2 copies of this card. You just want to grab back 2 Fire Energies. If we could play more Fire Crystal, we totally would, but this is the next best thing that we have right now, or at least I believe it's the next best thing that we have. We can grab the 2 basic Fire Energies back. Fiery Flint. So if you don't have this card already, pick this card up. It's kind of expensive. Last time I checked, they're hovering between $6 US to $10 US. So if you're thinking about picking this card up, I would try to find them as cheap as possible or pick them up before someone does really well with this card. It's from Dragon Majesty, so a very tiny set that didn't seem to have very many good cards in it. But here we are playing this card, Fiery Flint, raising its price. So it's kind of like an Ultra Ball because you have to discard 2 cards from your hand, search your deck for up to 4 Fire Energy cards. So what do you do when you want to knock out a Reshiram Charizard GX? You want to have a Fiery Flint in your hand, or find a way to draw into a Fiery Flint with like a Salazzle or a Heat Factory or a Cynthia. You get the idea. We want to hit hard. We have Fire Crystal here, so it's like Energy Retrieval. We grab 3 energies instead of 2. It says Fire Energy specifically, so we only play Fire Energies to get back. That's where we are at. We got Nest Ball here. We got 4 of those. One of the biggest issues with this deck is that you can sometimes run out of Pokemon on your bench. I want to improve that with this deck and use Nest Ball to get some Pokemon down on my bench very quickly. Getting out Salandits is really cool. Getting a backup Blacephalon. Pokegear, same thing. I want to make sure that this deck is very consistent, so we play 4 of this. Looking at the top 7 to grab a supporter card we find there. Usually before I play a Pokegear, I try to use other search cards such as Fiery Flint to grab excess clutter out of my deck to improve my chances of getting a supporter card. Rescue Stretchers. So we play one of this little guy, and it's just to get a Pokemon back. Sometimes if you had to make some rash decisions with discarding Pokemon early on in the game, or maybe your opponent knocked out a Salazzle, you might want to shuffle, but it is difficult to get Pokemon out of the deck at times, so I usually just use this to get a Pokemon on my bench, but just think very clearly when you're playing this card. Ultra Ball, it seems weird to only be playing 2 Ultra Balls in a deck like this, but I believe it's the only way that we can get out both a Blacephalon GX, and a Salazzle Salandit. Timer Ball wouldn't allow us to get our basic Pokemon. Pokemon Communication wouldn't work because we only play 9 Pokemon. Great Ball, same thing. 9 Pokemon is a little bit too little. There's not that many great Pokemon grabbing options, especially like there's nothing type specific for fire support. So Ultra Ball is basically the best that we have. I did try at one point playing the Psychic type Salazzle or Salandits, the little one, and Mysterious Treasure, but at the same thing, it couldn't grab my Blacephalon or Blacephalon GX. Heat Factory. So this card's absolutely gas. One of my favorite plays to do is grabbing it off of a Bill's Analysis, so it feels like I'm actually drawing cards. But don't get me wrong, Bill's Analysis is an amazing card. It's just one of my favorite plays in the deck. The only thing that I could recommend between both Heat Factory and the Salazzle with Roast Reveal is making sure that you don't discard too many cards or too many fire energies in your discard pile, because you can run out with this deck and you can deck out. So if you have everything you need, sometimes you need to slow it down. Viridian Forest. So instead of playing something like Ultra Space, I want to make sure that we could always get access to energy. This deck is so energy reliant in general, where it's just like sometimes you need an energy to get a Roast Reveal off. Sometimes you need an energy because you have a Heat Factory in your hand. Sometimes you just need a single fire energy. Viridian Forest really kind of takes that promise and runs with it, and it guarantees you having an energy. This deck also thrives a lot off the stadium cards that we have in the metagame. Viridian Forest, Heat Factory, and Ultra Space are all fairly popular cards. We do get the option to play those if our opponent plays them down as well, I should note. Bill's Analysis. So I think I'm one of the only players playing this card in the deck. And it's really good because if you look at our deck, we have 36 Trainers to Porters Stadium cards. We have a very large chance of just drawing any of those cards, and they're all played in decently high numbers, so you can get usually what you want off this. I try to use this during the mid game. I can grab my B strings, so it kind of works as like extra welders. I can grab my Fire Crystal, my Fiery Flint, make sure that I can reach for those knockouts. Bill's Analysis is definitely a homie in this deck. Cynthia. So another weird inclusion in this deck is Cynthia, but sometimes you have too many cards in your hand and you're about to deck out, so you could play Cynthia to give yourself a chance to not deck out. Sometimes your hand is absolute clutter where a Bill's couldn't save you or a Welder's wouldn't get you even close to a knockout. Cynthia might save you. It's one of those cards where it's like, I feel like it's just the best way that we can get this deck rolling. You don't play a lot of cards with this deck. You have to hold on to a lot. Cynthia can save you. And Guzma. It's weird to also play one Guzma. You can see that this deck's engine is very weird, but switching one of your opponent's Pokemon in their active position, if they're trying to attack you with a single prize card Pokemon, and you just have a tag team GX, if they're attacking you with single prize card Pokemon, they have a tag team GX, like let's say they have a Pikachu Zekrom on the bench and they're attacking you with a Zapdos in the front, Guzma can allow you to just win the game, especially if they don't get like a knockout on your Blacephalon. That's usually the rule of thumb. If they don't get a knockout on your Blacephalon, they are probably losing that game. So Guzma allows us to just have a chance to win in general. Welder, as we went over, it's a great way to attach energy cards. We're really happy. Hold on to these when you're playing the deck. You don't want to discard them too easily because this is kind of the way that the deck runs. Wishful Baton. So even if they do get the knockout on Blacephalon, have another Blacephalon in the back as a backup to collect the Wishful Baton energies. This is how the deck can just like a chain and chain and chain. So pretty solid strat there. Beast Energy, which is currently banned on PTCGO due to bugs and glitches. So I will note when we are going through the gameplay, I do have an exact replica copy of this deck, but I exchanged this Beast Energy, Prism Star, for another Fire Energy. And that's just so that I can show you how this deck works. In normal play, this deck is completely allowed. It's just due to computer programming issues that they have with this. Doing plus 30 can be huge. It could bring a Reshiram Charizard from 270 to 250. So instead of discarding 6 energies, you could discard 5 energies and get away with it. There's also some really cool plays that you can use with Blazer to do 10 plus the 30 from Beast Energy Prism Star. So you're doing 40. Even if you don't get a fire energy off of your Blazer, you could knock out Pokemon like Jirachi because they are weak to fire. And then we play 14 fire energies because we need quite a bit. So if you are watching this video right now, this is my list. If NAIC in Columbus or the North American International Championships in Columbus were tomorrow, And right now, as I'm making this video, it's Tuesday at 10 o'clock in the morning. Before I send this video off to editing, I would be playing this exact list. There's no doubt in my mind that I'd be playing this exact list. This is the exact list that I played at the Origins special events. This is the exact list that I played at my League Challenge the day after. So between the Origins special event and the League Challenge that I've played with this exact list, I am 8-1-2. One single loss. And my 2 ties were very close, very winnable. Granville takes a lot of time. So, and I don't think I mentioned, just not to jump back in, but Blacephalon is basically only used for Burst GX. You want to use it for your last prize card, just flip it up and win the game. It saves on energy costs from Fireball Circus, not to discard them. Maybe you've exhausted a lot of resources during the game. You want to know what? I've also used it for Bursting Burn mid-game if I'm absolutely in a pinch. Sometimes a deck will miss and you need to have a backup plan. And last thing but not least, Fireball Circus. It kind of follows my rule for Mind Blown when I'm playing Blacephalon GX as a main deck. Fireball Circus, if you are not taking the knockout with Fireball Circus, do not discard the fire energies from your hands. Do not use Fireball Circus. It's better to use that as an exploratory way to find your prize cards out with Blazer just by flipping them up one by one than trying to get them, than not getting a knockout with Fireball Circus. So this is the deck. I absolutely love it. We're going to jump into some games right now on PTCGO with this deck. Like I said, we're going to replace the Beast Energy Prism Star with a Fire Energy just to make sure that we can play the deck on PTCGO right now while Beast Energy Prism Star is getting fixed by the development team. And yeah, I really hope that you all enjoy it. This deck is honestly super fun. It's not a brain dead deck, as some people like to call it. It's not an easy deck to play. It can be incredibly hard, especially with the sequencing. So let's get to it. Let's jump into those games. Okay, so we lost the coin flip. Goidyur, or however you pronounce their name, is going first. And we have no basic Pokemon, which can happen quite often with this deck at times. It's nothing to really worry about. And here we go. So, they're playing some weird deck. I'm not sure. Steven's Resolve, Dana Evelyn. I'm very excited to see exactly what kind of deck that they're playing. So I want to start here with Blacephalon. Blacephalon's usually good in the active because it has more HP than Salandit, and it's our main attacker of the deck. There's Salandit. And let's see what our opponent plays. Oh, Greninja Zoroark GX. So this should be pretty good because it is a GX deck, and it is a tag team deck. It might get difficult to get around because we do not have the greatest start, but we'll see exactly how it goes. So search your deck up for 2 cards, put them into your hand. Just reading over this card, 160, choose one of your opponent's. So we don't play GX or EX down. We're not going to put the Blacephalon GX to give this Pokemon any damage with Devilish Hands GX. And I like how our opponent has all these cool matching full art cards. We're going to do Judge Whistle, just drawing a card. Pokegear. Looks like they got their engine. The Morgan, oh, they're going to play this with the Hat Trick girls. That could be kind of gross. They're probably going to greens for some pieces. But I don't think it's going to be that hard because they're doing 30 plus 30 to get a knockout. They only need 4 energies in play to make sure that it happens. So there's the Dana, there's the Morgan. And we drew a fire energy. So that's really cool. Maybe they don't have it this turn. So I'm going to try to go for Blazer. If they do have it, I am mistaken. We did hit a fire energy though, so hitting them down to under 200 HP is kind of cool. Now I need to hope that our opponent, let's just reread this card again. If they discard Dana, Evelyn, and Nita from their hands. Okay. So they did that, and then they have the 4 energies. I don't know why they're sad. They have enough. They swinging. They only need 3 energies. We might just lose here. Kind of by evolving, we might lose, which is the rough part. Because we could have used Call for Family, but let's go in. If our opponent can do that on the second turn of the game. Ooh, we did not lose yet. Let's go Nest Ball. Let's grab a big let's grab Baby Blounds. And let's go Bill's Analysis. Okay. We definitely need Nest Ball for 1. And I want to go for a Welder for 2. So I think we're in okay shape. Especially with our opponent playing a lot of random cards. They might not have the best way to get these knockouts or recover from it. They have 2 cards left in their hands. So we'll see exactly how it goes. I don't want to play Fire Crystal until I'm ready to go with Fireball Circus because our opponent might play Marshadow. So we'll just pass there. And this is what happens when you get kind of a non-ideal start, but our opponents will see exactly what they do here. What are we going to get off Pokegear? A Greens Exploration? Okay. I do have to say that their inclusion of the Hat Trick Girls is kind of cool in this deck. I don't hate it. They're trying to go for more. They're just like, we're going to body this guy. Okay, let's see what we draw off the top 6, 7 cards of our deck this turn. So there's 1. So we have an Ultra Ball, which is cool. I do want to go with Salazzle right here, because we might even get a B-String. We did get a Heat Factory right there. So let's go for Heat Factory. We do have Welder. Let's do Welder. Where's all the good cards? Okay, Fiery Flint. Whew. And Fire Crystal. So we have 5 energies in our discard pile. Just want to make sure that we can get enough. I do want to get out another Pokemon here to make sure that we can attack next turn. So I want to go Ultra Ball. We want to keep that Welder in our hands. So let's discard those 2. And yeah. So we have a Rescue Stretcher prized, and we have a couple other cards prized. We are going to be drawing 3 cards, so let's grab a Blacephalon GX. Our opponent might want to try to knock that out, and that's okay. I am going to go for Fire Crystal here to grab back 3. So you can use Fire Crystal as a way to discard less cards than you want sometimes. I'm going to go Fiery Flint, discarding 2 of them. To go 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 3 left in our deck. Keep that in mind. And we have 1 for the attach. And we have Fireball Circus. Our opponent has less than 200 left, so we know that we could discard 4. Fireball Circus. Okay, let's draw a Blacephalon or a Rescue Stretcher. So we know since we have that Fire Energy, we are going to pick around it. There's a Guzma. That could be helpful. A Salandit. Blacephalon. Okay. So we are in this game again. I think we could sorry. I think we could actually win this game next turn if we can hit a B string, that is. Now, if our opponent goes a Guzman, the Blacephalon GX, which I'm not entirely happy is on our bench right now, we are able to win this game. Ooh, Nita. And since we have that for Devilish Grin, they can hit us for 180 on the bench. Are they going to retreat? No. Yeah, let's send up that because it has one retreat. There's a Wish Baton. That would have been really nice last turn. So in order to get fire energies back into our hand, we do need to go for a fire crystal. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to save that energy recycler till the end of the turn. So I'm going to go for Heat Factory first, discarding that. We did get another fire crystal, so that's awesome. Let's play this Pokegear to just try to grab a card out of the deck. There's nothing. Let's go Roast Reveal next. Let's try to grab a card out. And let's go for we have 2 B strings in the deck. We have a pretty good chance at hitting them if we go for Bill's Analysis instead of going with Welder. I believe we do. No, we need to hit it off the Welder because we still need to retreat the Salazzle. Okay. If I go Welder here, I'm just going to be attaching the 1 energy. Did we get it? I don't think we actually did. I think we missed it by a little bit. Okay, so we have this Blacephalon here. We have the energy recycle. Make sure that we can get the energies off. Oh, you want to know what? I think we actually did get it. Because if we use our GX attack here on our Blacephalon, we have an attached energy. So we're going to use the Blacephalon GX to find another alternative way to win the game. So let's go Blacephalon GX there. So instead of just trying to attach the 3 energies to the Blacephalon, we got it. So sometimes you could just win, and that's how it goes. Three, 4, 5. Knockout, 250 damage. Good game. So you can see we have the power to knock out 2 tag team GX Pokemon. It can be huge, and our prizing was a little bit crazy, but we did get through that game, especially with our poor start. Let's see what we get for this coin flip. Yay, we won a coin flip! Of course we're gonna go first. I have no clue what our opponent's gonna be playing. No basics, that's fine. No basics again. It still happens. At Origins, I had up to 4 mulligans. What is this? Yikes. And that is a very not fun start. So we'll see how it goes. An Eevee. Okay, so this looks like it might be a Sylveon deck. So we might be okay for a little bit. Let's go, let's waste some energies out of our hands and out of our deck. Just do a quick peep, make sure that we have all the good stuff there. We know we have a Blacephalon prized, we have a B-String prized, we have an Ultra Ball prized, we have our Heat Factory prized, we have a Bills prized, Guzma prize, I believe. Oh no, we have B-String in our hand. I usually always miss one in my hand. I'm going to attach there and hope that our opponent does not win. Ta-da! They're going to evolve into a Sylveon, and I believe they're going to go for Magical Ribbon to just get 3 cards out of their deck. So this could be pretty good for us, but I don't think our opponent's going to try to take any knockouts. I think they're going to try to deck us out. They might try to discard cards with Mars out of our hand, which could be pretty annoying, so I might have to grab some cards back with energy retrieval that I don't want to grab. Ooh, and there's a Nest Ball. Let's grab a Blacephalon, and let's just double check. Our opponent can use Fairy Wind. Let's just keep on keeping on. Let's go call for family for another Salandit. We could keep on calling for family if they want to use Fairy Wind so that we can just use B-String. But maybe our opponent's going to try to do something else. Oh, they're going Tapu Lele GX. I wonder what they're going to grab with that. What kind of weird supporters can our opponent play? Because Tapu Lele GX is not very common in this deck. Dana. Maybe they're playing the Hat Trick Girls again, which would be weird. Okay, just another Magical Ribbon. Maybe they're trying to go for... I don't know exactly what they're trying to go for here. It's kind of a really weird... Sylveon's not very played, but you never know what you're going to see at NAIC, or at any tournament, that is. And there's another B-String. That only has 4, so in case they're trying to go for Plea GX, I'm just going to go for Call for Family. I'm going to get out a Blacephalon. Let's go for a Blacephalon GX, that is, because we can always Bursting Burn them. Or just draw a prize card. Could be good in this matchup. Oh, they're playing Gardevoir Sylveon GX. So this is another Hat Trick deck. 2 energies, 3 energies, 4 energies, 5 energies, 6 energies. And looks like they're going to shuffle our hand into our deck and knock out our Salandit and get us at 0 cards. That was a big turn. I wish I knew what card I was going to draw. Now we do have this Blacephalon, and I'm going to use that as a shield right now. We did get a Fire Crystal. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Now, there's an energy there, and we can't do anything because of Wondrous Lab. That was a huge turn for our opponent. I actually kind of really like this deck. It seems kind of fun. Really cool deck. If you ever watch this video, maybe it's something we could cover in the future. Having a 0 card hand is never fun. Are they going to rip a supporter off the top card of my deck? Oh no, they have Hiker. We are getting nothing. They should just be splitting the energies with Kaleidostorm. Let's just retreat into this Blacephalon and pass. Let's see if our opponent can go for another Hiker shenanigans. Okay, this is the best Pokemon that we could send up, but you can tell that we are struggling here. Maybe we want to... I almost want to send up Slandit. Pokegear. Come on, deck. You're leaving us hanging. We're going to attach that there and hope that we just top deck. Top deck mode! Okay, this is going to require a blessing. And we'll just skip this game. I know that we are going to lose this, so that is that. Sometimes it just gets you. And we lost the flip. Let's see what Black Espeon 1991. Maybe they really like Espeon. Let's see what we get. Maybe we'll start with a Blacephalon this game. That'd be really cool. Come on, select your Pokemon. I just wanna grab my Pokemon. I wanna see. I wanna get this game started. Okay. All right. This could be okay. See what our opponent gets here. Murkrow. Maybe this is a Weezing deck? And if it is a Weezing deck, Weezing is a very difficult matchup for us. Maybe they'll just Marshadow us here as well? Nope, they're gonna go for a Coughing. Maybe they just have a big turn 1 Lily. Yep. So that's looking like a really good start for our opponents. We can only see how our deck performs against it. And they have some fun techs in there. Let's go Nest Ball for one. I just want to get us landed out. And let's go Ultra Ball, getting away some more cards out of our deck. We don't want to overbench against a Weezing deck if we are going to have any chance to beat it. Let's grab a Salazzle. And let's go Pokegear, hopefully hitting something. And we missed. So we are just dealing with what we're dealing with. I don't want to play down any other Pokemon right now, so let's just pass. So no energy with the Pokegear. When life gives you lemons, you got a bunch of lemons. There's Weezings. Maybe maybe they'll give us a prize card. That'd be cool. Because Miss Magis, if you don't know what it does, it has Mysterious Message. So you could draw cards till you have 7 in your hand and you knock it out. And our opponent is playing Spell Tag. There's a Fire Energy, so at least we're going to do some stuff with Salazzle. That could be really cool. Roast Reveal. Let's try to jump back into this game. And we didn't really get much going on, so we're just going to pass. There's no point of us trying to attack here. They have the counter energies, so the counter energies will work really nice with the Mismagius, but I will admit I'd love to draw a prize card here. Anything that gives me an extra prize card against this deck can be amazing, and I don't think the Honchkrow does much for them in this matchup. It's really just the Wheezing can be very annoying. So we'll see, they have an energy there. Are they going to activate their counter energy? Is that a counter energy? Yeah. So we are going to draw a prize card. And a fire energy is a good prize card for us to draw. Okay, we got a Fiery Flint out. I definitely don't disagree with that Fiery Flint. Now I do want to go for... Don't really like discarding this Blacephalon, but I will go for it to try to run past our opponent's deck. Let's go for a Roast Reveal. Let's go for a Pokegear. And of course, we had to miss that again. Let's go for a Bill's Analysis. Our opponent has no Pokemon that are currently weak. But let's grab a Guzma and a Viridian Forest, because I think that those are two of the most important cards we can grab right now. And our opponent's going to hit us in between turns, so they're going to hit us for 10 damage with Detention Gas and then an additional 50. So they aren't going to knock us out. We might as well try to hit for a Blazer. We don't need to put down this Blacephalon as far as I'm concerned. Let's go for a Blazer. See what we have in our remaining 5 prize cards. There's a Welder. That would have been really nice to hit off the first couple Pokegears, but maybe next turn will be our turn. So there's a double colorless energy. I don't see any reason for them not to use Splattering Sludge. There's another energy. We have no reason not to go for Roast Reveal. And we are currently stuck here. So let's go Fire Energy here. They just attached another energy. Maybe they could waste an energy by attaching to their Mr. Mime. So we do survive if we do that. Let's go for a big Blazer. Learn some more about our prize cards. Sometimes you gotta fight, and this is not a matchup that I particularly like dead drawing in because it is a difficult matchup. But our opponent might not have another energy, or they might have a triple acceleration energy, or something. Okay, they have Escape Rope. Let's bring up this Pokemon to take the brunt of the damage from that Wheezing. And they did have another energy, so good to know there. At least with us not having a lot of Pokemon in play, their Ericas is not doing a lot. I actually do not like Ericas in that deck. Power Plant's not going to hurt us. So let's send up Blacephalon that's going to take 10 damage in between turns with Detention Gas. So just doing some quick math here, we're going to take another 10 from Detention Gas, which is going to put us at 20. They are going to hit us with a Spell Tag. I don't think that they're going to get a knockout here. So let's go in with a Roast Reveal. Come on, there's only so much that I could reveal. There's a Welder, the card that we've been waiting for. And let's go in with it. We do have a Rescue Stretcher there, which can be huge. We're going to try to use that for next turn. And if they do knock us out, we do have access to Beast Ring, so that could be very cool. Let's go Fire Crystal here. 1, 2, 3. Let's go for... I don't want to have another Salazzle down on my bench, so I will be able to discard this Hernandez. Getting a fire energy, and we could prepare this Salazzle here with an energy, because just in case they do decide to go with a Honchkrow and get a knockout, or get a knockout in any way, maybe they play Professor Kukui, not sure. This will help us. So let's go Fireball Circus. There's the 150. Now, if our opponent knows what they're doing in this matchup, they're going to hit the Salazzle for 20 damage. Because it can take... Okay, the 10 damage doesn't really matter. Now, do we want to have Welder in this hand? Yeah, I think Welder is a pretty cool card. We want to have a lot of access to that because we might not have access to our beast rings every single turn. So there's a Honchkrow, and it looks like this Blacephalon is going to stay alive. Let's go with seeing what our opponent's going to do. There's a power plant, which could be annoying. So we're not knocked out, which is cool. And we're not knocked out going into our opponent's next turn, so that extra 10 damage could have been cool, or it didn't really matter at all. So since we know that we're going to be knocked out at some point, we can go in with a Nest Ball. Let's go in with a Nest Ball, grabbing a Blacephalon. Do I want to start powering out that Blacephalon or no? That's the big question. I will go double check what we have in our discard pile. We do have 6 energies in our discard pile. We don't really care about the Welder right now. Let's go for Bill's analysis. So there's a Fiery Flint. There is a Wish Baton could be cool, and let's go for a Fiery Flint. I like yeah. No. Energy Retrieval. No. Fire Crystal's better. Sorry. Now that we're on that, oh, our opponent's gonna get the knockout with the spell tag. That is good catch on that, Zach. Let's go for then. Let's go with Heat Factor in case they try to go for some kind of Marshadow play. Let's go Wish Baton on. Let's just double check how Wish Baton reads. If this Pokemon is knocked out by your and is knocked out by damage from an opponent's attack, so it would go through that. Let's go for this Blacephalon. Let's go for a Fire Crystal. 1, 2, 3. We do need to discard 3, so we might as well do that. Let's go for Fireball Circus and just discard the 3. So we're getting our knockouts. Single prize card decks can be difficult, especially Weezing. So we'll see exactly. There's a spell tag, spell tag, spell tag. What? Okay. I thought our opponent totally would be hidden that so they could do some extra damage there, but I guess not. Are they just going to rescue Stretcher the Weezing to the top, or are they going to shuffle in? I hope they just grab the one Weezing. Because I don't want to see... Okay. Solid play, Black Aspeon. I don't want to see exactly how bad this matchup really is. Okay, they're just going to chain Weezings to the death of us. Now, if we can get off a few more attacks, we're in pretty good shape. So this is why they should have knocked that out, because they wasted some extra damage there. And this Blacephalon is going to totally take an extra 10 damage. Let's go for a double check. So we have 1 energy, 2 energies. 11 energies, and we know that we at least have the 2 energies to attack with B-String. We have 4, so good to find out. Let's go Rescue Stretcher, shuffle 3 back in. So let's go Blacephalon, Blacephalon, Blacephalon. Let's go Pokegear, trying to grab. We should have used Pokegear first. That was my bad. Let's go Heat Factory, discarding 1. And that's a yikes. This is probably not even our last turn to use B-String. But we still have that Welder in our hand, so we might as well. And let's go for a Fire Crystal, which will allow us to get the knockout. Let's go Fireball Circus. Thought I clicked it. Let's go Fireball Circus. That's a knockout. Nest Ball could have been cool. We might need to get a Pokemon out, so let's just grab the Nest Ball. So Blazer searching through some prize cards can be difficult. Now, I don't think our opponent can win the game this turn. Actually, if they Guzma... Nope. They had Field Blower anyway, so it didn't really matter. Spell Tag. Yikes. So good thing we pre-attached that energy there. And I think we're doing pretty good with the amount of prize cards we have left. So let's go Nest Ball here. Nest Ball is going to grab that, and we have some pretty good cards left in our deck. Let's go for... So we have that. We definitely have some energies. I do want to have an improved chance of hitting some energies, so let's just see what we have here. We have 13 energies in our discard pile. Let's go for an energy recycler. Cycle some of these energies back. And this is our last prize card that we're actually going to try to get with Fireball Circus, so we are in good shape there. Let's go energy retrieval here. Grabbing a couple energies back. And let's welder these on to the Blacephalon. So we did get a few energies there, which can be very good. We do have a Fire Crystal. So we do get the knockout here. Now, will our opponent be able to get the knockout? They're going to be doing 40 damage, let's say with Spell Tag here. $30 damage, 10, 10. I don't think that they can do much with this Blacephalon GX to draw 3 prize cards. So I am going to put that down onto the bench just to try to secure the win here. Put another Wish Baton down there. Retreat. We've already attached our energy for our turn. I don't really want to use Roast Reveal at all because we're at 9 cards left in our deck and our energy resources are limited. Let's go for a Fireball Circus here. 1, 2, 3. Wow, I did not think we would be winning this game, but the Mismagist certainly helped us. They do know that we have our GX attack, right? We have 70, 90, 100 damage on board, so we know that a Tapu Lele play can't be coming down. Are they just going to give us our last prize card to win the game? Maybe they're just wasting those Dust Stones. Oh, Counter Catcher. Confusing us for a few turns could be really annoying. There's a Tapu Lele. They have 3 prize cards left. So the foul order is very, very tough. Okay. Let's go in with a Fiery Flint, because we might be able to win this game. Only need to get 2 energies to discard. So I thought we could just go in with a fun little burst GX, but we do have the Welder to retreat, and we do have 3 energies that we can discard from our hand. So with our opponent having 3 energies left, they did run out of Wheezing, and we are going to grab some extras. Why not? Let's just go retreat. And go for a Fireball Circus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good game, man. Crazy. Did not think we were going to win that one. So this is the deck that we played today, just in case you missed it. I hope that you enjoyed this video. So this is your last chance to get a screen grab of the video, of the deck in the video, that is. And I think it's a great play for the event. It has some really good matchups. I actually wrote down some matchups the other day. I did a forecast with Eric, who's also part of the channel, the main guy in the channel. So what do we have here? We have... I think it does really well against Blacephalon GX, this deck. Goes about 90-10 against it, so you'll win 90% of the time. Mirror Match is going to be Mirror Match pretty much no matter which version of the deck that you're playing. Vileplume, it's another card that I didn't mention for the Salazzle, or at least I don't believe I mentioned. The Salazzle allows you to have an out versus Vileplume decks, which means that you should have a pretty strong matchup. I think it's about a 95% chance that you win the game every single time. Meganium's a really good matchup because their deck's a little bit slow, and we can get those big numbers as a single prize card deck. Pikachu Zekrom, same thing, it's a Tag Team GX Pokemon. Reshazard, it's Reshiram Charizard GX, again, Tag Team GX, good matchup. And Zapdos, they have to hit with their attack to do 80 damage, and then they need 2 Electro Powers to knock us out, so that's a pretty good matchup as well. That's it for today. If you did enjoy this content, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, Rare Candy. We have a lot of great videos on the channel, so be sure to check it out. We have a lot more great content coming out, especially with Unified Minds coming up, the season coming to a close, so we will have a lot of brand new content, so keep your eyes out on that. If you really want to help support the channel, consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/rarecandytcg. That would really help us out, or you could consider buying some merch from our website that will be linked. So please, please, please help us out. We are just content creators. It'd be amazing if you could. And if you like this video, please share it with your friends, tell your neighbor, walk a dog, do something. That's it for today. I'm Zach from Rare Candy. It's been my pleasure.